What's up, YouTube? We back at it again with another reaction. What happened? What happened to Nolan Wells, man? For real. And if you did it, you wrong, man, because it looked like he was a good kid. Let's get into this reaction.
Some of our top stories that we're following from this week. Taking you out to this, we have an update in a case that is really capturing attention all across the.
First thing I noticed, that's 2025. He graduated in 2025. That's last year. So this right after he graduated. Two happy parents. Look at his dad. That's a proud father, bro. Look at his mother. Super ecstatic. You dig what I'm saying? Even he happy himself. He don't look like no gangbanger. Mind you, looks can be deceiving, but this don't got nothing to do with him being a bad person. You get what I'm saying?
Country. We do know that as of this weekend, the official autopsy in the death of Nolan Wells has been completed, according to officials who are familiar with that investigation.
Let me stop it again. Just the fact that the autopsy has been completed, we need to know the cause of his death. Because him being left on the island and nobody knows what happened to this man, an autopsy is the only way that we can confirm what really happened to this man. You get what I'm saying? So, let's see.
From the state medical examiner's office have not yet been made public, but are expected to be sent to a grand jury. This all has to do with the early July death of Nolan Wells, an 18-year-old who was on a boat on Horn Island before he effectively went missing. Days later, his body surfacing. And still so many questions as we are continuing on in the days and weeks to follow his death. And to talk a little bit more about what we're watching here, I'd like to bring in Adante Pointer, civil rights attorney. Adante, thanks so much for being with us here on Live Now from Fox.
Thanks for having me.
This is sad for the black community. Just me being a black man, I'm a part of the black community, you get what I'm saying? For him to be around 3-4 white people, it's no good way to say it. 3-4 white people and the black kid goes with this. If 4 people leave, 4 people come back. You get what I'm saying? So just the fact that 4 people left and 3 people came back, them 3 people need to answer for the 4th, even if it was his own choice. You get what I'm saying? If I leave with my brother and come back without him, I get in trouble. You feel me? That's just a black rule. That's why a lot of people really don't understand what's going on. You feel what I'm saying? But I know that's not something that a white person take in consideration, that a black person is going to peep, that he came with y'all. Why he didn't come back with y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And once again, I'm getting a lot of text, emails, and even people reaching out to me on social media asking questions about this case. And so since we have the time to speak with you right now, I want to start with some of the basics. There have been a lot of conversations around these autopsy reports. There's an official one from the state, but also the family has gone on their own path to produce an independent autopsy. What has sort of been revealed through these reports? Again, the official one has not yet been released yet, but what's the difference between the two, and why are they important to figuring out what ultimately happened to Nolan Wells?
I'm gonna tell you like this. I don't know everything, but this is just my opinion. That's why y'all here. If y'all here and you made it this far, even 3 minutes into the video, like, comment, subscribe. You get what I'm saying? Like the video if you like it. Don't like it if you don't like it. Comment and tell me why you don't like it. You get what I'm saying? But 2 autopsies. The regular person, the average person, only gets one. The fact that there's 2 is a red flag for foul play. You get what I'm saying? The first one needs to be the only one. Why? I already know that they had to get a private autopsy to see what's going on. I'm gonna tell you right now, if the first autopsy had anything to do with covering up anything, you're going to jail. That's against the law, bro. But you know, these white people got money. You feel what I'm saying? Money wins all things, but not against the jury. A lot of people that failed against the jury when it comes to money. It's a lot of people that ain't got out that got money. You get what I'm saying? But I really feel like that they thought that this wasn't going to be a big thing. You feel what I'm saying? They feel like they could just cover this up with, mind you, if you think about it, if you've been following this case, when Nolan Wells was disappeared, man, when he was killed, let's just keep it real. When he was killed, they made a call and tried to get their boat unstuck. And they asked, do you want the marshals to come, this, that, and the third? They like, nah, don't bring the marshals. For one, if it's a person dead on the boat, why not call the marshal? You get what I'm saying? Like, why not call help? Why there was no help call? Mind you, if they would have just came clean, like, I ain't gonna lie, little bro hit his head, this, that, and the third, and we didn't know what to do. We called the police. Y'all probably would have got off on that. Y'all probably still went to jail. Y'all probably would have got off in maybe a year, maybe not. But, excuse me, I know for a fact that the boat that they was on was dude granddaddy boat. And when he called his granddaddy, the granddaddy called the Coast Guard. That's what it was. Granddaddy called the Coast Guard and said, don't bring the Coast Guard to my boat. Don't bring the Coast Guard to my boat. the boat is not sinking. So that means whoever was on the boat must have called the owner and told them don't bring authorities. He going to jail. You get what I'm saying, Mike? I don't know who did what. This is just my personal opinion. You get what I'm saying? But at the same time, this is covering up murder. This is an accomplice to murder. Because if this man was killed in any type of way, any type of foul play, anybody that was involved is going to suffer consequences. You get what I'm saying?
The state autopsy is conducted first because the state actually had custody of Nolan's body way before the family got their hands on the body and were able to send it to an independent autopsy for an independent autopsy. So what you have is the state actually had the body in its most original state from once it was recovered. And so they have the primary opportunity and duty to investigate and examine this body for
Why
any
the
type of
state got his
signs of
body?
trauma or drowning and any other type of physical injuries or the condition of the body. Whereas an independent examiner, they're getting the body after the original autopsy is done. And oftentimes the body, as once again, during the autopsy, is cut open. Not only is the external body examined, but also the internal body is examined, as well as toxicology tests of the sort to see if there are any type of any.
Why can't they just tell us what the first autopsy said? What is the cause of death? Ain't that the point of an autopsy? Why can't they just tell us the point of his death? Like, what was the cause of his death? Why don't they gotta take the body to another person to determine his death? You get what I'm saying? Like, bro, I done been through a lot of shit. You get what I'm saying? I know what an autopsy, what they do with it. You get what I'm saying? So it's like they give you a paper. Let's start there. They give you a paper with the injuries and the cause of death. The cause of death, it has its own personal category. Why the first autopsy is not giving them the cause of death? Drop in the comments below. You get what I'm saying? That doesn't make sense to me. Maybe I'm tripping. But 2 autopsy, that's like having 2 funerals. You only have 1 funeral, bro. We're going to bury him one day and then we're going to take the body, we're going to bury him somewhere else too. Doesn't work like that. You get what I'm saying? So it's so many red flags and there's too many red flags to go unseen. I think that's why this is getting bigger and bigger, because what else has people tried to cover up? What else have they did? You get what I'm saying?
Type of intoxicants on board, alcohol and things of that nature. So the independent autopsy is a way for a family to get answers in advance of the state's autopsy coming out. And oftentimes that's all the family has, because the state autopsies oftentimes take much longer to deliver the results to the family. And as you can imagine, if you're a family, you're anxious to know what happened to your son.
Absolutely. And so we do know from Ben Crump, he's the attorney who's currently working there with the family. They've been very outspoken about what they believe happened to their son and just really wanting to know more answers from those officials who are in charge of this investigation. But so far, as we've been talking about that independent autopsy, we do know that the family released some information indicating that.
Just a quick side note, you can tell that she's reading something. Like, I don't know if that's just me, but me seeing her do this, it's like, it's cliche, bro. It's somebody dead, this is somebody's child, and this is another thing. This is the same 2 people that just put their same picture up, and now they don't have their son. That's deep, bro. They took that same picture with their son, now they holding their son in a picture frame, and nobody can tell me what happened to my son. That's not, this is what the justice system, mind you, I stutter. It hit different. I'm a regular person like y'all. This is what the justice system is for. Things like this, you get what I'm saying? He goes to an island, goes with these people, comes back, don't come back. How y'all come back and he don't come back? You get what I'm saying? Like, I want to know what the people got to say. What does they parents got to say?
They said publicly that the determined and cause and manner of death is undetermined pending investigation. Legally, what does undetermined mean, and why might this information that this independent autopsy brings also be able to be reconciled with what the state has in order to put together the real pieces of what happened to Nolan Wells?
I can already tell the father has nothing to say. Why? Because he's on demon. I'm going to keep it real. My son went with y'all and y'all cool and my son ain't? Let's just keep it real. If you a parent and your son don't come home, then what? Honestly, then what? Now I got to answer to my wife. I can't answer to my son. My son can't answer to me. But the people y'all was with saying if there was an altercation and all of a sudden he's disappeared. Sound like he got beat to death or choked or something. You feel me? Like, or don't get me wrong, accidents happen. He could have got hit and then hit his head and then died. But it's the fact that his death is being covered up. You get what I'm saying? There's no, if this is your friend, let's say that happened to me and my homie. That'll never happen. I can't even give you an explanation of that, because that'll never happen with me and my homies. But at the same time, if it was something to happen to my friend, I'm gonna be the first person to tell his mama and his daddy what's going on. I'm gonna call the police. I'm gonna call the authorities. I'm gonna call some help if I see bro right here bleeding. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm not understanding why there was no call for help. That doesn't make sense to me at all, for these people to be so innocent. If you innocent person calls the police. An innocent bystander calls the police. If somebody's robbing a bank and someone just walking to work and they see somebody getting held at gunpoint, 911, yeah, I'm just walking to work. I just see somebody, ooh, this, that, and the third. Yeah, he got a gun to his head, this, that, and the third. Ooh. That's what an innocent bystander does. So the fact that innocent bystander is a stranger, and these people in this situation is not a stranger, they're supposed to be friends or buddies, whatever you want to call it, and no help was called. Even when, mind you, I heard the phone conversation too. I might have to do a reaction on that. I just like doing a thorough reaction. If I watch it, I try not to react to it. But I seen the phone conversation. They said Nolan's dead. Nolan's dead. Woo woo. The operator get on the phone. They like, is everybody alive on the boat? Yeah. How many adults? Everybody's under 18 over here, so I can't give you a number. Why are you not saying, I ain't gonna lie, I think somebody dead. I think somebody dead. I think somebody needs some help. Can y'all send some help? You know what a distress call sound like? I watch a lot of true crime. Like, a distress call sounds like a person in distress. When I heard that call, he sounds too calm. He's talking about the boat sinking. You get what I'm saying? There's somebody's son that just graduated last year just trying to turn up real quick. Whether he wanted to stay on the island for a girl or not, I think everybody's going to the island for girls. If we're going to keep it so real, that what a nigga going to the island for? You feel me? Why is a black man going with 4 people anyway? 4 dudes or whatever it is. It's just my opinion. You get what I'm saying? So what's really going on? Let's see what the family got to say.
Right. Well, the independent autopsy and the person who conducted it, forensic examiner, was unable to reach a final conclusion about the cause of death. Why? Because they were missing significant parts of Nolan Wells' body, in particular his larynx and his throat, which may lead to evidence, or maybe evidence.
Do a regular autopsy take out the larynx and the throat? I'm not for sure about that. I'm gonna keep it real, because if a regular autopsy don't do that, they covering something up. I just don't know personally, because I don't work at the morgue or nothing like that. But at the same time, I thought they just take like the major organs and embalm them. You feel what I'm saying? Because throat, I don't know. I'm just a regular person giving my opinion, but at the same time, that does not make sense. I'm gonna keep it real. Why is the autopsy taking his throat out? But mind you, I never did my research. Maybe I gotta do my research on that. Why? What? In a regular autopsy, what does a person do? Drop in the comments so we can get to the bottom of this.
Towards saying that he was choked or asphyxiated or things of that nature, or also that he took on water and he drowned, because that was the initial story that was put out, and that was what officials suspected, or at least they said they suspected, was that he drowned. And so not having the throat, which could be evidence of maybe some foul play, is super important. And without really fully examining the body, a forensic examiner cannot rule out or rule in a particular cause of death. So that's critical for the family to get that information.
That's substantial.
And so, Dante, I want to ask you this. We've seen several videos that have surfaced online. TMZ, who's some of our partners here at Fox, they have obtained video of some of the moments where Nolan Wells was last seen there on the island. He's there on several boats. He seems to be with a crowd of people. So my question for you is about witnesses and the story that they'll be able to tell in order to help move along in this investigation. How critical are some of those eye accounts of people who are there on Horn Island to get together the pieces that really determine Nolan Wells' last few hours as he was alive?
Witness accounts and their statements are critical. They are actually very pivotal in trying to piece together what took place, because the witnesses have essentially firsthand information.
And I heard a lot of stories too. They said that Nolan wanted to stay on the island because of Katie. I think that's her name, Katie. He said he wanted to stay with a girl, this, that, and the third, but they had his phone on the boat. And they said that his mother had to go use an app on her phone to go get the phone from one of the people that had it. That's another thing. If something happened to your friend, why are you keeping the phone? Then they said the mother got the phone and it was things that was missing from his phone. Come on, man. mind you, this was a black people. If it was 3 black people and 1 white man, they go on the Carnival cruise and come back without this man. He turned up dead, and the black man got his phone. Y'all gonna say he robbed him, right or wrong? Drop in the comments, right or wrong. So it's like, the fact that this is not being treated like a murder, and y'all keep trying to have to get to the bottom of it. There's no getting to the bottom of it. Stevie Wonder can tell that this man is some foul play. You get what I'm saying? Even if he accidentally died, it's the fact that y'all not saying what happened. You get what I'm saying? Y'all went home like nothing happened, and then for the certain someone that had the phone, you went home and had this man phone. What person's gonna have someone phone and they dead? You get what I'm saying? Like, that doesn't make sense to me.
As to what took place, who was involved, and how this whole thing came to be. And also, you can use those witness accounts to either undermine or contradict, or to further probe into what maybe some of the initial statements were made by his friends who actually sailed out to Horn Island with him and ultimately left him. At least their claims are that they left him on Horn Island. So it's going to be critical to interview each and every one of those witnesses, no matter when they saw Nolan or if it was before or after his friends left, because that's going to determine the circumstances, the mind state he was in, whether there was any type of arguments, any type of disagreements, whether they saw him with the phone.
An argument with your homie should not lead to your death. I'm gonna keep it real. If y'all can't just throw the hands real quick, even if it come down to it, come throw the hands real quick and shake up, no cameras involved, I don't see why he's dead. That's the point I don't understand. Why do you think his father is not smiling? Why is my son dead? That doesn't make sense. More and more I'm starting to realize, more and more I'm starting to follow this story on and on. It doesn't make sense why he's dead. You get what I'm saying? Because all the pictures he's showing, he graduated, he went to football, he played sports. You feel me? He's hanging with white people. Why is he dead? He's not gangbanging, just got out of jail. This and that there. Mind you ain't got to do all that to die. Exhibit A. But at the same time, death, no one deserves to die. Let's start there. No one deserves to die, whether you gangbanging, this, that, and the third, whatever. Woo, woo. Even if you out here doing the worst of the worst. No one deserves to die. Everybody human. You feel me? But at the same time, a kid that just graduated high school less than a year ago, and you just trying to go to whatever island you going to have fun, people get killed in the street. You know what I'm saying? How is he the first person to get killed on an island? Drop in the comments.
Because as we know, the phone made it back to Mississippi and onto land, whereas Nolan supposedly left. I'm to say Nolan stayed and did not take the boat ride back with his friends, and that, I think most people would find that pretty odd.
And they said the boat ride is an hour away. What person is gonna be like, you know what? I'm gonna stay here with Katie, and I'm an hour away from land. Not that I'm gonna call it Uber. You can't call it Uber boat. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you can, but I don't know nobody that ever called it Uber boat. You call it Uber car. You get what I'm saying? So the fact this man is on the island and he's an hour away, and bro them telling him, "Hey, I ain't gonna lie, we gone. This, that, and the third. We gone." You understand what I'm saying? Even if I want to stay, and bro them saying we leaving, I'm gone, bro. I'm going with who I came with. Why would I come back by myself? What if they leave and get fucked up? You feel me? So it's like, it goes hand in hand what's going on with this situation. If that's your friend, you don't leave your friend. You get what I'm saying? And then I'm not seeing no remorse for Nolan Wells.
That a person would leave their boat, would leave their phone and not have it with them while they plan to stay behind and let their friends go on about their business for the day. That's just a little odd, an odd fact here that I'm sure the family is, really trying to get to the bottom of.
And I guess that especially in this day and age, especially with Gen Z and the younger generations, they're attached to their phones. And so I'm glad you brought up the phone piece of information, because we do know that Ben Crump and their legal team are right now searching for more information through all of the phones of people who were present at the time. How critical is that forensic evidence there and digital evidence of communications
100%.
of those who were with Nolan within his last few hours? And what potentially stories could be told through those messaging and communications?
Well, our phone is essentially digital evidence. There are digital footprints because everywhere you go is tracked. And so you're able to kind of recreate where people were at, by the GPS coordinates and where the phone was located at particular times. And you're also able to determine the type of communication that was given. For example, you could send a text message. Maybe it was in reference to Nolan. Maybe it was in reference to the circumstances that were going on. And so that would allow investigators to kind of recreate the timeline of what took place. But it also can lead to either excluding or ruling someone out as having been involved in this, but also can rule in someone as being involved in the circumstances as to how he wound up coming up dead. So our phones are critical, and analyzing them is very important for police investigators. And keep in mind, just because you delete something on your phone doesn't mean that it's deleted forever or that it can't be retrieved by investigators. So if by chance any of these phones have communications, text messages, social media, and things like that, investigators are still able to uncover those and review those.
Do you know when somebody catch a murder, the first thing they say is your phone was pinged on the tower closest to the murder scene? Why do you think they kept this man's phone? You know what I'm saying? Mind you, this was a black person. They would have been handled business, put belt on that behind that. You know what I'm saying? This only has went that far because this is a white predominantly group. I don't know if I said that word right. This majority white group, and the black person come up missing. They trying to make it seem like that's normal, but it's really not normal. And the fact that you got that phone is not normal.
To determine what happened to Nolan Wells.
And lastly here, Adante, I want to talk about the path forward. What other milestones are you really looking for? We know that evidence that was procured there from the official autopsy will be presented to a grand jury. What else are we watching for in the next few days and weeks as the details are continuing to seep out from Nolan Wells' case?
Well, certainly we're going to be looking at the information that comes from the cell phones. Certainly we're going to be looking to hear any other witness accounts in terms of how this all came to be and where people are at in a timeline.
I'm not trying to help nobody with what I'm finna say, because I know I'm kind of wrong, but this is just my opinion. I don't care about being wrong, punk. My whole thing is, if you did that, bro, you need to leave the country. That's just point blank period, because even I know you did it. You get what I'm saying? So you need to leave the country, go to Mexico, cut your hair, grow some hair, grow a beard, cut your beard, whatever it is. You need to leave and create a new life, bro, because they about to give you the death penalty. I'm gonna keep it real. Y'all tried to cover it up. This man's autopsy is not showing the cause of death. It's went on too long. You got the phone. Y'all called the operator. Didn't know y'all was on the phone. Screamed, Nolan's dead. You get what I'm saying? Mind you, these is 18, 19-year-old kids. A judge is 45 years old, looking at you like, be for real. So number 6, be for real. Number 7, you think you're getting away. Number 8, you done. I'm gonna keep it real. So it's like, if you think you're gonna beat this, money has nothing to do with it when it come down to evidence, bro. If you got evidence that can prove, it don't matter if you're guilty or innocent. It's what you can prove in court. I seen more guiltiness than innocentness. I know it's not a word. I seen more guilty examples than innocent examples. I ain't seen nobody get on here was like, well, he didn't have his phone and he didn't have his phone the whole time, so he really wasn't even there, just that and third. They like, well, he was there, you was with him, you had the phone, he dead, the body ain't, come on, man. It don't take
one of the other important things, too, is going to be those grand jury proceedings, because heretofore, up till now, we really don't know what the state has gathered. They've been tight-lipped, as they often are in these type of investigations, in order not to tip off any.
And I think everybody in on it, because when white people involved, a lot of people be trying to cover up their crimes. Let's start there. Jeffrey Dahmer, if we're gonna keep it so real. Jeffrey Dahmer was killing people for years, and his neighbor was black, and she was calling the police saying, I ain't gonna lie, I think a white man, this, that, and the third, keyword, he doing this, that, and the third. Every time somebody go in his apartment, they don't come back out. They say, all right, you have a good day. You feel what I'm saying? They go in his apartment, find 15 dead bodies cut up and dipped in acid. This been going on for years in the black community. You get what I'm saying? And it feels bad to even be a black man right now, because it's like, what can happen to me if I go to Mississippi? I can't go to an island. You feel me? I can't hang with white people. I got white friends. You got me looking at my white friends crazy, because ain't no telling what they'll do to me at an island. And I don't know what they did to Nolan Wells. I don't know if they did it. I'm not saying they did it or not. But more evidence points towards, fuck the evidence. You was with him the last day we seen him. The last hours we seen him alive, you was with him. So what happened to him? Point blank, period. You get what I'm saying? And the stories that I'm hearing don't line up. Because if it lined up, it wouldn't be a case. You get what I'm saying? I'm not making them guilty. They making themselves guilty. I'm just reacting to it. You know what I'm saying?
Particular witnesses or suspects, and also just to protect the integrity of the investigation. But when you're a family member, you're not so much interested in the tight-lippedness or keeping everything shrouded in secrecy. What you want is transparency.
True.
What you want is information. And you don't want it now. You want it like yesterday. Because at the end of the day, you have a parents and you have a family that is without an 18-year-old healthy young man who had
He
all the
was
promise of his
18?
life in front of him. And now,
Mind you, I told you he just graduated from high school. I graduated at 18. 18 going to 19 because my birthday in September. You telling me I didn't coach this man going through school, going through college? I mean, not college, going through sports. He finna go to college, and he just got killed on a resort trip? Nah, I'm gonna keep it real. When you go on a resort trip, that's when your parents don't even worry about you no more. He out having fun. He ain't answering his phone because he out there having fun. You tell me he ain't answering his phone because he dead? On the island? Nah, man, be for real.
the family is left with a void, and they're entitled to everything that they have in their in that the state has accumulated in order to figure out what happened to Nolan Wells on that day.
Absolutely. And so we'll continue to keep folks updated here online.
And one thing I noticed about the black man on the right and the black woman on the left, he's speaking from his heart. Sure, he's reading the transcript because that's her job. His job, I don't know what he is. Pointer, silver. I don't know what his job is. But she's a news anchor. She's just covering news. It look like that's his job, and he just speaking from the facts of the situation. You get what I'm saying? He different. He's speaking facts from the situation. She's just doing her job. You get what I'm saying? He looked at the camera the whole time. Shorty, she looking off. But there's nothing to look at but a transcript. So she's just reading what's mind you. I'm not saying that she don't think this is sad, but you can just tell real emotions from a job. You know what I'm saying?
Now from Fox, as new information comes out. Certainly appreciate you, Adante, for joining us here on this Sunday to give us the latest information.
Thanks for having me. Look forward to continuing as we work on this case.
Absolutely.
He working on
We do
the
want to
case.
continue on with some of our top stories that we're following from this week. Taking you out to this, we have an update in a case that is really capturing attention all across the country.
We're going to stop it right there. This is another Magic Wand TV reaction. My personal opinion, I think he was murdered. I'm going to keep it real because it wasn't a freak accident because I never heard of that. You get what I'm saying? It'd be different if he drowned. It'd be different if he just hit his head. I'm keep going back to he just hit his head, he passed out. But what was the cause of death? You know what I'm saying? The autopsy doesn't want to tell us the cause of death. They don't want to tell us a lot of things. And the fact that people don't want to tell us a lot of things, that means a lot of things that we don't know. Mind you, this is another thing. It's 2026. Where the cameras at? Why none of this was on camera? People don't do crime nowadays because there's so many cameras around. In the 1950s and 1800s, there wasn't no cameras, so people just out here doing anything. You get what I'm saying? Doing anything, robbing, all type outlaws. That's what it's called, being an outlaw back in the day. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that there's cameras around, there's no cameras, there's no autopsy report, the boat was never sinking. Is the boat recovered? Is the DNA on the boat? You feel what I'm saying? Like, this is just common sense of a situation with someone that lost their life. Part 2 coming soon. I'm going to keep following up on this case. If you're new to the channel, like, comment, subscribe. If you don't like it, tell me in the comments why you don't like it. I'm going to try to improve. If you like it, subscribe. You feel me? I'm going to keep doing this for y'all. I'm going to do this for y'all. Shit, this is a new page. Go check out my other page, Magic Wand TV. I do tattoos and I do a lot of other things too. I got a Magic Wand custom page. I'm gonna start posting on there. But for all the loyal followers, our loyal supporters, I appreciate y'all, and Magic Wand TV out.